Oh, there we go. It looks like we are live. Awesome stuff. All right. Hi, everyone. STT here. Hope everyone is going well. It is hump day. It is middle of the week. It is the Wednesday after daylight savings time ended. And I gotta say, that's been wild. Didn't really hit on Sunday or Monday, but Tuesday night rolls around, the sun sets, and it feels like midnight when it's only like 7 or 8 p.m. I was just completely thrown for a loop. But at least Tuesday gave us a lot to tune in on in terms of news. Um, I think I mentioned this on stream before, but I live in the DC area. I live specifically on the Virginia side, and we had our odd year total state elections going on, and they went very well. They went very well. So I actually ended up staying up late, even though I thought it felt like midnight when it was like, yeah, 8 p.m. Um, I think I stayed up past actual midnight, well past actually, just following all the news and things like that. So today was interesting for me at least. It was a bit of a slog getting through work. I am very glad to be relaxing and ready to play games. And yeah, I think it's time we do our little warm up here, little warm up with our word game. There we go, there's showing. All right, guess the phrase. Today it is 18 clues long, and this is partially why I started stream a little bit early. Because this one's going to take a while, and I want to make sure we get as much time during time to go into Subway Builder, because I just had too much fun with that. Even if it didn't seem like it on stream, that just kept me going. But I want to get into that as soon as we can, so let's get our warm-up ready. 3, 2, 1, go. Southwest London District famous. Wimbledon. Status of a YouTube video right after you tap the play button. Status? Okay, yeah, playing. Wimbledon playing surface. That's grass. Peanut butter and jelly. Living things that bark, meow, and mew. Those are animals. I was about to say bark, meow. I almost thought it was going to say pets, but then moo. Build on with an 2. I don't know. We're gonna move on. Word that comes before effects. Oh, special effects. Group of words thoughts on subject pair without its own subject pair. Oh, that's a phrase. Wait. Store sign phrase. Oh, while you wait. So there's an extra word there. Metal detector at the airport. Air pressure gauge. I don't know what the full name for that is. Random answers you blurt out when you have no idea. Guesses. That's what I'm going to be doing a lot here. Like winning get without going. Like winning. Like the winning highest without going over. Closest without going over. There we go. Those are planets. Air pressure. Metal in thermometer or. Oh no, Mercury's going to be the answer to the next clue. Or something is the closest planet. Air pressure gauge. It has an R, has 2 R's, an E and an M. It's 2 R's, an E and an M, and an O. Ooh, and an A. It's got like every vowel. Air. Oh. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Metal in thermometer or barometer. That's Mercury. Mercury is the closest planet to it. That is the sun. Um, build on. Blank and E to the front of special and slap. We're going to want to make this word that means in particular. Build on with 2. I'm going to be. Oh, add 2. Okay. Add an E to the front of special and slap L and make this word as. Okay, that's weird. Make hay while the sun shines. Okay. Couple of weird clues in there, but they all made sense, I guess. We're gonna do, I think I still have yesterday's to do as well, so let's check that one out. 14 clues on this one. Dang, all right. All right, let's get going. 3, 2, 1, go. It comes with fries. Scientific law. Wait, law theory. A basic law like Newton's third law. It's not a hypothesis. It's not a result. It's not a. Wow, what is? I should know my science stuff. I don't get that. What's going on? A group of languages that includes Hakka and Mandarin. Chinese languages. How left relates to right. Opposite. And the rocket's red glare. Compare this and that. Team doesn't. It loses the game. What comes before use? Blank it or in a common impatient. It's use it or lose it. In a common impatient warning. Oh, move it or lose it. Okay. I haven't heard that combo in a phrase. I've heard move it by itself. Side that makes an opening move in chess. That's white. Blue. Right after 4, when you give a sample of right after 4 free. No, it's got 2 E's in it. There's a P in it. For example, red, white, and blue, for example, colors. Scientific, it's not a law, it's not a theory. Scientific, oh, principle. That is, I would not use principle for that. That is feminine principle in Chinese. All right. Oh, I can spell. Ugh. Scientific. I don't like that. I would not use the term principle to describe that. Yeah, whatever. This game is sometimes weird, but we will make do. And in the meantime, that means it is now time to actually get into the game we came here to play, which tonight is Subway Builder, which is, I'm excited for it. It says a new version 0.8.0 is available. Let's not do that right now. Let's not. Because I just want to play. No! It's download. What? Why? I said no, and it's actually downloading anyway. Well, at least it's already 40% done. 50% done. 60%. 70. 80%. 90%. Alright, gotta restart the application. Oh, choose installation options. Oh, fine. It's just fully reinstalling it now. That is frustrating. Okay, now that is 40%, 50%, 60%, 70, 80, 90. Oh, and it jumped back. Why would you do that? Run. Yes, please run the game. I want to play. Alright, and OBS is not picking it up at the moment. It wasn't earlier, so we're going to window capture. Whoop! Whoop! That's not what we want. We want this. And it is not quite covering my entire screen. That's fine. We'll do that. We'll do this. That looks good enough. You can see the actual top of the screen, but that's actually fine. We're going to resume. All right, so resume, I assume means it's remembering where I was when I stopped. We're in day 17. Oh, let's play. Because what I'm going to do here is I'm going to let this just run. Because at this point, we established near the end of my previous stream that I was in fact making money day over day. It's just had large swings on any given day. So we are letting it run just for the purpose of making money right now. And we'll see how it all goes, because I want to expand the network. But if anyone remembers last stream, starting with these 2 lines basically had me burn through my entire $3 billion to start with right off the bat. And I'm now at 9 million. So if I want to do much of any building, I need to be very careful about it and make sure I have the money. I'm wondering, it might be fun to explore some other stats, look at our ridership things. But we have to let this run because we're only on day 18. I've been playing this for several hours and we're only on day 18. I would love to have an even faster setting for the timing, but I feel like that almost might be too much. We got a warning. Why do we have a warning? And the warning's passed. That's right. So that was a capacity warning. I didn't get to show it immediately here because it flew by too quickly. But I've noticed, so you notice right there, it had like 200 out of 400 as a capacity warning, which is, yeah, there we go, 200 out of 400. That is not a warning. I think that is a very low threshold to get a warning. I would prefer if they gave me warnings when stations were like, okay, that's a bit better. 330 out of 400, that's over 80% full. So that's an okay warning to get. Obviously 80% full and particularly 90% full would be an absolute sign that we need to increase capacity somewhere. But otherwise things are going all right. You'll notice I'm up to 15 million right now. We just shifted over to, we're no longer in the morning rush, so we dropped from 13 trains down to 6. 386 out of 400. That is quite full. But let's see, what are we going to do here? This is, we don't need to manage these routes at the moment. I want to see one of our demands. We still have most of the people here in St. Louis driving, which, I mean, we haven't hit a ton of the area yet, and our capacity isn't huge either. Again, we've only got like, let's see, what is it now? It is 2 in the afternoon. Oh, we're getting 3. We're getting to the afternoon rush. So we're going to have 15 trains going over the entire system. Those are just going by so quickly, I can't even really read them. I need to see what that station is the problem, because it's the stations we need to make sure we get people doing. 21st Street. Oh, that's right. I can rename some of these stations. That's one of the things I kind of wanted to do while we let time go by. You can see our worker areas. Again, they're still also mostly being served by cars because we haven't even hit most residents. There's some areas, particularly near the stations, where the residents are doing more transit now. You can definitely see they're highlighted. Actually, this is really cool to see. That's quite a bit. That's actually quite a bit down in South County there. Hello. Hang on. Station ridership. Jeez. Nice work. Okay. That's, impressive. Alright, I will, I like that. Route ridership. I mean, that's about what I expect. Let's go back to our demand stats. But yeah, most people are driving still. There isn't a lot of places where driving has dropped. Of course, this color bar, the difference between 100% and 50% is not easy to see. Maybe if we zoom in a bit, you can kind of see some differences. But yeah, the transit people, yeah, we're actually getting into like the 30s and the 40s percentage-wise for people who are using transit. And then there's down here. I don't know why this is so popular, but I love it. But we will plan on extending our lines when we get the chance to do so. And what I would love to do, so right now, I'm going to go over to our routes here. This right here is the pink west route. I have it hitting into this little district right here, and we'll go back to our demand stats. That is a place where there's a concentration of people working. I've noticed, though, watching people coming to and leaving stations, is that this station still gets a lot of stuff. Let's actually go back to our station ridership. It's got a fair amount, so I almost wish I could extend the normal pink line to here, then put the pink west route, extend it one more out, and have this be the transfer station instead of this the transfer station. The problem is I goofed something up earlier where we're going to go in. If you want a station to be a terminus, you need crossovers by it. And if I go to this station... Oh, whoa, that's interesting. Why is it giving me, like, multiple spots? So I can't build a crossover already exists at that location. If I go one out... Crossover already exists. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't matter. It thinks... Oh, I just added a crossover point. Somehow. Okay, well, okay, build. Okay, so we've got a crossover apparently here now, when I didn't before. So we might actually be able to do the crossovers that I was talking about earlier. Because I know I tried it at one point to extend the pink line up here to McKnight, but when I did that, it highlighted the entire west route. And that's not what we want to see. 21st Street, still getting really busy. Where's 21st Street? Sarah Olive 21st. Okay, that makes sense. There's probably a lot of demand there. We're right into the city at that point. Actually, there's not a lot. Why is that station getting so busy? Are there a lot of residents there? Yeah, sort of. That's just interesting. I don't know why 21st is getting such such a large amount of what am I saying? Traffic and congestion. Anyway, let's zoom out a little bit. If we want, we can try to extend. Do I want to extend it? Because extending costs quite a bit. Adding a changeover, as you saw by itself, was 12 million bucks. And I'd forget how much the line cost. What we're going to do is when we build it, I'm probably going to build over, down, and then over again. But building just 2 new stations by itself is already quite a bit. And we're going to need to at least add 1 changeover, which is already cutting into a big amount of our reserve that we have here. So it's day 20. Let's go to like day 22 or 24, see how we're doing. Capacity at Market Street. Oh, right. Let me go in. We're going to... can I alter? Yes, this is how we can alter names. Are there any names of stations that I particularly want to change? I don't think so. Well, there's got to be 1 or 2. So there's Wells, Stratford, University Place, Natural Bridge, and Air Flight. Those are fine. You know what? Where to change this? Air Flight Drive. That's Terminal 1. And Natural Bridge Road. This is Terminal 2. This is me knowing St. Louis. Oh, you know what I haven't hit, I don't think? So I've hit some of the stuff. We're going to rename some of these as well. Big Bend Boulevard is Washoe West. Skinker here is Washoe East. Kings Highway, Sarah Street, Olive, 21st and Market Street. Market Street, we're going to call this one Market Street downtown. 21st, I feel like I should know more about what's going on 21st Street. That deserves a better name than that. We'll think later. So there's Washington, Merrimack, McKnight, Woodmore, Bear, Olive, and Will. There's 21st Street. Is there? So here's one thing I don't like about the game that I wish I could do is once something is built, as far as I can tell, you can't like update it at all. So this is telling us ridership and things. I don't even know what this does. Oh, I can re-roll what I want to call it. That's fine. And we'll get. Was there any other odd names that I wanted to change? Probably not. Ooh, what park is this? I should rename this as to be that park. Dolores Street, Potomac Street, Rubber Place. Again, I should know my parks in St. Louis. I know Forest Park, quite obviously. There's a couple more in West County that I know, because that's actually kind of where I went to school and grew up. Okay, but we're going to leave everything as is. We're up to 45 million. I might actually be able to do an extension of Pink West now. Those next two spots that I wanted. Let's look at our demand. Stay on demand. Demand, please. So we want to hit this area, and we want to get residents like up in here. So if we zoom into here, that's actually going to be pretty easy to service, I think. There's a fair amount of work over here. I'm not sure what that's referring to. This obviously is a development area. I think that's not already being in Kirkwood, is it? I don't think so. That's a little bit too far north. Because here's Highway 270 and Highway 40. 270 comes down. I think this is more like the Kirkwood area. Maybe. Because then I think this is 270 and 44. No, wait, no. Oh, I'm very wrong. No, this is 270. What is this road? Yeah, this is 270 and 44. Oh, what is this? Oh, I should know this. This is, again, it's one of the thoroughfares in St. Louis, and I'm totally blanking on what its name is right now. Damn. I'm not doing my hometown proud. Okay, hang on. I can't do just two stations. That's way too far apart. Look at how close these are. I would need to do, like... So maybe one station here, one station here. But, yeah, that would work. And then I would turn south to get over here. This is a nice stretch where I don't think I need any station, yeah. Of course, I'm now kind of ignoring all of these workers, unless I, like, loop, do a weird, like, little S-bend. That actually might not be a bad idea. We're at 53 million now. I'm gonna try to build something. So let's zoom in here. We will... Yeah, we'll build a station, like, right here. And then we'll build a station over here. Actually, probably like right here, just to get a little bit closer to people. This one, we're gonna go right in here. Here we go. All right, let's build. And now y'all are gonna get to see. All right, we need light metro, parallel, elevation. Oh, hang on, where are we when it comes to elevation? I've totally forgotten. I think we're above ground at this point. But we'll make an above ground station like right over the road here. Cram Road. All right. So right now, so that right by itself is 50 million bucks. So actually, you know what, we're gonna clear these blueprints. We need at least 200 million in the bank. If we want to even add just 2 stations, one here and one here. So we need to wait a few more days, it seems. We're still only on day 21. Remember earlier I said I was on day 20, let's wait till like 22 or something? Yeah, we're not even there yet. Let's go look at our finances. Okay, transit times. Will Avenue construction stalled? Must file a 200-page report. Will Avenue, the station will close. Wait. Will Avenue is already there, though. Hang on, where's Will Avenue? Yeah, it's P West, all the way there. Trains are going there. I mean, not at the moment, it's in the middle of the night. But yeah, see, a train hits Will Avenue. So I don't know why the news is saying no. View ridership stuff. What was I about to do? Not build. Plan to simulate passenger journeys through your network. I don't need to do that. That's not what I want. I can look. Oh, here are my cars. Or my trains. That's actually pretty cool. Hadn't noticed that last time. Anyway, what we're going to do is go into our finances. Bonds. Issue bonds to raise capital for expansion. Oh, that's cool. But if I get a $100 million bond, then that actually really lets me extend out where I want to. I need 100 million in daily profit to get a 500 million. So that's a 10-to-1 bond ratio with some interest. Interesting. I am making what I need. That is a 5-to-1, and that's also 5-to-1. Interesting. That's more daily interest because, again, probably the risk is greater. But hourly, this is mostly... Oh, so we are making profit at all times. I think, yes. And this is probably a... Remember... Oh, I shouldn't say remember. If you saw the last stream, there would be a lot of times where we weren't making profit. And I did tool around with the schedules and how many trains to have at any given time to try to make profit at each time step. We are making profit at each time step now, though, which is phenomenal, honestly. Which I wonder if that means we can afford to extend service. Like add service, but yeah, so you can see where I'm running almost no trains in the evening, maximum trains during rush hours, and middling trains during middle of the day. I wonder if it's worth buying more trains to hit rush hours even better. Because we're making hella profit on rush hours. That means demand is quite high. We could afford to do more. Try to meet extra demand. But so daily... Yo, yeah, look at this. You can see how we were struggling earlier on. And now we're raking it in. So these are the operational costs. And you'll know, over this time is when I was building the lines. So I was actually losing quite a bit of money. Again, I said I started with quite a lot of money. You can see I'm already down to like 500 million here. And that's after my first build. This is when I actually made that pink west extension. But I made the first 2 lines before day 1 started. Alright, we are somewhat leveling off on balance over time. So... It might be... So... we can change service. We can issue a bond to extend the west line. And I'm kind of... That's an option now, so let's do it. Pay off entire bond, which I Can't do at the moment. But I do now have enough to like extend over here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna let this day run, and then I'm gonna slow it down, and then all the way pause, so that we have the time to extend this line for what we want. Now, interest payments are interesting. We will get there when we get there. We'll see how that affects our budget. So it's not even noon yet. Let's let the system run. Um, so again, I'll start summarizing some more for people who missed the last time. But these are two of the three lines that I'm hoping to have here in sort of a triangle pattern. The gold line here, I want to extend past the airport up into St. Charles at some point. There's not a lot of demand out there. There's a lot of people out here. Not a lot of workers, but you can see there's a bit of a corridor that goes in. So there's a work corridor that we can tap into, and maybe at some point in the future have just a St. Charles line. We're going to extend the west line, as we've already talked about, hitting some workers, then going down into this corridor right here, getting all the way out to this area. Is that I think it's another airport. But we also do need to tap into some of this. You can see so many people in these other areas. So the next line that I'm thinking of doing is being mostly a residential line that gets people like in this area into the airport, that taps into all of these people, and then curves around to start maybe getting into here and some of these people. Because yeah, we're going to get this line hitting most of this. There's some other work corridor that we can hit. This line, again, the gold line is also eventually going to extend a bit further south. These people love it, so I would love to extend it. The pink line also is going to expand east as well at some point. It's got the west extension right now. We're going to get an east extension too. Probably eventually going out to this work area and then up to hit these people. But that is a long distance away. Ooh, all right, and we are in the evening hours, so let's... Oh, now we've just completely slowed down. Let's actually get... Okay, actually this works. I was about to say, let's make sure there's no train running on the west extension. There's not. So we're going to pause completely, because now we can start building. Now we can start building. I should have some music going in the background, so I'm not just doing nothing while y'all are waiting for me to do whatever. So we're going to... 5 meters up. We're going to see if we can keep it 4 meters off the ground here. And build on this road. Track intersections road at 4 points. Oh, I have to go above. Alright, so I can't. Stop, go away. Alright. So we'll go up to 5. We now have 80% of the cost here. That is better, though, than a full equivalence cost. So we're staying above ground. We're following the road. So here's Cram Road. Where was my other station? I said it was going to be like right over here, right? Demand. Yeah, like it. Yeah, we want it in here. So we're going to do like just a diagonally facing station. Again, 5 meters above ground. We want to do something like if it's coming out this way and it's going to curve down this way, we want it to be like right around here, I think. Like that-ish. Another Olive Boulevard, so we can't do that. We will rename that one, because there's another Olive around here somewhere. I know that. But we're going to build tracks. From here, we need to mostly stick along with this road. 90 kilometers per hour. Holy mackerel. All right, we're going even faster than before. And I think, can we just connect those? Yes. Awesome. We're just following the road here, following the road. You want to do something like this, I think. See, now we're a little bit slower at 86, but that's not awful. We can do this. Ooh, that's awkward. So let's undo that specker road. If we just want to do this. Yeah, that's where we've got some eminent domain there. We don't want to see that. Don't want to see that. Oh, woo! I didn't mean to zoom in there. Sorry, y'all. We do this. Still doing weird stuff. It says that's 79. All right, hang on. So we did it better the first time. We did it better the first time. So doing that's not great. So we want to keep this at like... Actually, can we shoot through here? Oh, this might work. Oh, no, that's actually definitely not working. Yeah, it's definitely not working. So let's undo that one more time. We'll do a 86 and a 90. We're getting close. All right, now I've already got insufficient funds. That is unfortunate. All right, so we've got blueprints. We can't build, but we're close. We are very close, so we're going to let the simulation run for maybe another day or two, because we are making money each day. Oh, that train is overfull at Manchester. Holy shit. That was like 418 out of 400. That one's fine. 280 out of 400. 390 out of 400 at Market Street downtown. 316. Okay. Gold Line. Why are you... Ooh, there was something that was like 500 out of 400. That's insane. Wow. Okay, that one's fine. Close. That's fine. That's fine. Don't even know what's going on with gold, because we don't have that open for whatever reason. Okay, those are both fine. Those are fine. Why are you giving me these? Okay, those 395s at Kings Highway, that was tough. Kings Highway, of course, is the big one. You can see people really hung up there. We are in rush hour, so we're using... Oh, wait, we're not using all of our trains. Okay, well, now we're in 10 o'clock, so that makes sense. Yeah, the one other, like, I love how realistic this is in the sense that you have to balance all these costs, and the real time is, well, it's not real time, but you really are simulating each single day. You're using real population dynamics, a bunch of really nice stuff that's going on. But you don't build things with a click of a mouse. Like, I'm about to build $200 million worth of tracks and stations, and that's not gonna just happen the instant I click it. That's not realistic, but you wouldn't have a game otherwise. 21st Street also, whatever, doing things. Okay, gold. Wait, why are... Wait a minute. Alright, so the pink trains have 400 spots each. But when gold popped up, it said 800 spots? Yeah, why are the 800 trains longer? I don't think that's what I wanted to do with everything. Hang on a minute. Pink. trains. Cars per train. Huh. I don't know why that's just at 2. Uh, Not enough train cars to increase cars per train. I would need 48 more train cars to increase capacity. Huh. How much were trains again? Oh, we actually have quite a bit. So what did it say? We needed 48? So this would actually stop me from... So, okay, I wonder what happens if we go from six trains down to 5, but 2 cars per train up. Well, hang on a minute. I've got, in theory, 6 trains. At 2 cars per train would mean 12. Why is just going from 2 to 4 not adding another 12? You know, let me just buy 12 and see what the game tells me I can or can't do. Okay, now I can. Okay, cool. And actually, so let's do this. That only decreased 1 minute of frequency. So our trains are now twice as long on the pink line. That should fix capacity issues. That would explain why we were having so much trouble on pink earlier. Look at all these people that are now going. Now we'll still probably have, oh wow, 670 out of 800. Whoa! We had 1,300 people on an 800 capacity train there on gold. Gold, buddy. It is... Okay, we're in medium demand time, I think, right? Right now? At 9, 10? Oh, hang on, it's a tooltip. Oh, okay, so no. High demand is still 8 o'clock, so we would have to increase this on gold. We have the trains now, apparently. Now the question is, if we increase extra service on gold during high demand time, what that's going to do our operating costs, and if it's worth it for the demand that we have. It is 3 in the morning. I do not care that we are at near capacity. Okay, now we're at medium demand time. Let's see. Okay, now we are actually, losing money somewhat consistently. And now we're into full capacity time. Yeah, that train is... Wow, yeah. But a lot of these trains are also just empty. On pink, we've got 5 trains. And again, they're actually... Okay, see... Well, it's okay, it's close to 10 o'clock now. We are now to a lower frequency. Now all our trains are most... Oh, no, even then, we get non-busy times. Alright, so we changed our operational stuff. So our profits, we need to go back hourly, please. I want to see what's going on. So expense breakdowns. We've now got bond payments that we're paying off. So the operations are in orange, and our profits are in the green up here. We're still making money. Over the course of each day, we're still making money. So I am not unhappy with that. Okay, so 5 o'clock, we missed a little bit there. It's evening rush hour. Let's see if overall our evening rush hour hours make sense. The morning rush hour from 6 to 10, that's fine. Evening rush hour, we're still making money bank at 6 and 7. 5 o'clock is a bit off, but we're making enough back. I'm not worried there. So that's that. Balance over time, balance per hour. Can we see like a... Let's go daily here. So we made money there. We did some train buying here. We're going up still, even as not going up a lot. People are probably getting used to the new schedule already. So there's some train purchases. More train. Why are those different colors? Oh, that's construction. That's the switchback that we added. Not switchback, the crossover. So now we're doing bond payments. I don't mind that. I'm glad we had the train purchases because that's making pink a heck of a lot better for us now. We've got this extension that we can't build yet until we hit 199 million. But we're already up from when we did the train purchase, because the train purchases got us to like 158 and we're already up to 163. So if we wait a week or so, then we should be good. Unfortunately, waiting a week in this game actually does take a fair amount of real time to go by. So I wonder what else we can look at. Toggle full screen speeds. Now where's our... Somewhere around here, there's going to be a... Like... We don't need to know demand. Things are fine. Ridership is fine. Station ridership. Our pink numbers have probably gone up thanks to the increase in train capacity. What I really want to see... We don't need the route planner. I keep forgetting where you can find, like, the... map layers, so we can see tracks, track speeds, elevations, types, signal points, signal lines, building foundation depth. That's actually kind of fun. We don't need ocean floor depth, good lord, no. Although that's doing something to the rivers, which is not ocean floor. Routes, road labels, station platforms, pop movements, what are those? Station dots are fine, trains, it's fine. Oh, that's that. Themes, custom maps. Transit fee, this is what I was looking for earlier. People aren't happy about Will Avenue. Packed like sardines, we've fixed that now. We've fixed that now. Oh, that reminds me. What else? There was, I think, in the station to rename. So there's an Olive Boulevard right there. And there's Olive Boulevard as well. So we need to rename one of them. While we're waiting for our funds to come back up, I'm actually going to go open I'm going to go into my regular internet. I'm going to go back and look and see which sections of St. Louis are which based on these 2 points in Olive Boulevard. Because Olive, yes, it's one of the big east-west routes in St. Louis. So we're going to go there. Let's see here. I want... What am I looking at here? Okay, it's night. That's why I'm not hearing any sound. Unfortunately, you can't see the major roads when you zoom out too far, which I would like to actually see more of. But it's harder to really map out. Is that what 340 is? Olive, yes, here we are. So there's that golf course. So what I'm looking at, is that 67 Stacy Park? Doesn't seem right. Now that does seem right there. So this section of Olive Boulevard, are we at... Oh, that's why we put a lot of people there. Okay, so this Olive Boulevard, where are we? This one. This is Science Hub West. So over here you've got, well, it's not fine. I think, oh, Bear is actually over here. Oh, so what am I doing? So I've actually, okay, I mixed that up. Never mind, never mind. That's Bear Drive right there. I was about to say, yeah, we've got Bear, Creve Court, and Donald Danforth. So that's Science Center West. What did I put? This is just Creve Coeur, I guess. Creve Coeur. We're gonna name that Creve Coeur. So you have this over here. Actually, let's rename this. Science Hub West. This is I think that's how you spell it. Let me double check. It's one of the old C-O-E-U-R. C-O-E-U-R, yes. It is French. There's so many French spelled names in St. Louis that aren't pronounced either French or English. It's wild. I can type Science Hub West. There we go. All right, so this other Olive Boulevard that we've now put out here, what am I hitting in St. Louis over here? That is, I don't know what that is. Oh, well, hang on. So this is 141. What else is 141 called? Oh, I keep forgetting. No, that's not what it's called. And we are here in Road, West Miami Valley. No, no, no. It's always weird when your memory of where you grow up does not match the information you are seeing at the moment. Oh, hang on, I got a transit thing in here. Olive Boulevard construction stalled, must so okay. Olive Boulevard, okay, same thing that we were talking about earlier. I don't want to call that Olive Boulevard. I want to call that... Oh, now I've lost where I was. Now I've lost where I was. Okay, here we are. What is this called? Wait, we're not in Chesterfield already, are we? That doesn't sound right. Okay, and we kind of are. And actually that does get out to the airport otherwise, so that's why we're out here. So this is going to be Chesterfield East. You there. All right, we've now renamed some of those, which is fine. Still got to figure out. Oh, you know what? While I have my maps up, let's actually figure out a better name for 21st Street. Because that area. Is that Midtown? No, Midtown's further east than that. We are talking about. Oh, is that actually Energizer Park? Please tell me it is. Because there's this, there's that. Oh. Yeah. Oh, actually, you know what? We can call this Sports Center, I think. Okay, where's 21st? Okay, yep, there's 21st. And there's Olive Street. Awesome. So this is 21st, so Sports Center. Because yes, so we do have oh, that's why I was confused last time. So okay, right now, you'll notice there's just this big kind of open plot of land. This is literally where the soccer stadium is right now. I love it. So this is what we're gonna call 21st Street. This is Sports Center. And Olive Street here, this is Midtown. And oh, okay, there we go. Almost thought I saw a little insect on one of my screens, but it was not. It was just glare. And now we're up into the 170s. So again, our funds are climbing. If we give it like, we've waited what, half a week? Give it another, I actually guess when we need to have another week or so. But we should be able to get up to the point to make our next 2 stations extension worth. Yeah, things are going well. We haven't had to raise prices at all. We could if we wanted to. That might drop us some ridership. But yeah, so our expensive has risen recently, but largely just because of paying off the bond that we got. And we haven't actually bought much. I wonder if we put an extra day of a day or two of higher ticket prices, just so that we can say, oh, now we've built more, we can make that extension and then drop the prices back down. Just a very temporary price hike. I don't know. Well, okay, it's all right. We'll have to wait another day to do it because we're starting to get. I want to wait until it's like a little bit past midnight, and then we'll do a small little price hike just for like a weekend. That's actually interesting. They don't do weekends in this game. It's always the same day-to-day schedule. But yeah, so it takes about $200 million just to build 2 new stations. So that lets you know how much we're going to need to have in the bank if we want to do an entire new line. That's going to be insane. That's going to be insane. It's going to be tough. Let's go to our demand again. Right, so this is coming down here. Oh, we want to go over a little bit and then come down. So it's got a very weird little S going on. But having a station somewhat in these residential areas will be nice. Like maybe right here. Oh, that's gonna be tough. Actually, if we go straight and then turn, I guess that'd be more like right here. And then we go down into this area. If we're stationed here, then it's gonna be okay. We can zoom in like that, station here, and then turn around. That should work. But that's going to be another 200 million bucks to extend this line. Someone's walking? Who's walking here? That's wild. Interesting. Very interesting. Did I miss another midnight while I was doing all that talking? I don't know. But yes, at some point, we're going to want to hit a lot of these other residents that we're not serving at the moment. There's a lot of them. There's a lot in South County that we just aren't doing. There's some in North County, and then everything out here in St. Charles County. So the gold line will absolutely go over here. The pink line actually will probably come up into there at some point in the future as well. But serving South County, that'll be the big boon that, again, this line that starts at the airport and sweeps through here will eventually do. Eventually. And then maybe by that point we'll be making enough. Oh, hang on. It is. We just started rush hour, and one of the pink lines was a little too busy. And the gold is packed. We might just need to add another train to gold, but I wonder how our operational costs are doing. Hour-wise. Tell me hour-wise. Train operations are doing okay. We're still making a lot during these hours. Morning rush and evening rush. So you know what? Yeah. Gold line, you're getting another train during your rush hours. Oh, let's pause. We're going to, because yeah, Pink West right now should have nothing on it, right? Nothing, correct. So for the moment, we're going to do one more quarter on ticket prices and then spend just a couple days so that we can get enough money to finally get this Pink West extension going. We'll probably have to go at least 2 days based on what our daily profits have been previously, maybe with the ticket price hike. That should give us a little bit of cushion to get to that 200 whatever. And I got a spam text that I'm just going to completely ignore. That's okay. Now here's the thing. Our ridership numbers. Okay, these are actually telling us who's immediately on it. I wish we could get a graph of how these numbers change over time. Because that is not in like the financial numbers. We do get, overall revenues, but that's all of our lines put together. I would love to have your hourly revenues broken down by route and by station. I think that would be really enlightening. Day 31, we're not doing too hot on our profits just yet. We haven't hit evening rush hour, though. The fact that we've already had morning rush actually kind of makes me a little worried, though. Maybe I shouldn't have put the extra train on the rush hours in gold. But let's wait for evening rush to go through. Because we're about to start it soon here. 79, 180, 181. I saw 182, there it is. 7 p.m., 183. 8 p.m. Okay, tapping out there at 183. Okay, we're doing all right. We're doing all right. Actually, I think we're even doing better than the previous day. So the slight ticket price increase gave us a little bit more revenue, like 30 million more revenue, with 1 million more expenses because of the extra train we were running. So As I keep saying, guys, one more week and we'll have enough to make the extension on Pink West. We'll get there. But we just have to wait. Ooh, okay, hang on. It is early morning. Why was Gold Line so busy at like 3 and 4 in the morning? That's somewhere we hit a capacity issue. McCree and Reber. Those are probably down here, I would assume. Delore, Leona, Potomac. There's Reber, yep. And there's McCree. Yeah, so Gold Line. Again, that's 3 and 4 in the morning. Why? That's insane. Alright, so we're back up to 182, 183. We're at 9 a.m. For whatever reason, the morning rush isn't as good at making us money as the evening rush is, and I'm not quite sure why. You would think it's the same amount of people, and we're doing the same type of service. I don't know. Maybe it's because the evening rush is not just the evening rush, but also people going to evening activities, which is not something you encounter as much in the morning. So Delore Street is now having a problem. Okay, that's up there. Yep, Leona's packed and waiting for, okay, that got fixed. Why am I not hearing gold sounding? It's only pink that's sounding? So no, here gold is sounding. I don't know why it wasn't sounding when we went down here. Yeah, people are getting on and off, but we're not hearing those dings. That's kind of funny. I'm not sure what that's about. I would love to know how these tones are picked out and how they're played. That'd be another little interesting behind the scenes of this game. No, but it's fun. We're at 187 now. It is 7 p.m. It's 8 p.m. We're at 188. Come on. Okay, I think we hit our max for the day at 188. Because it is now 10 p.m. Evening rush is done. Oh, so it's okay. It's specifically when the train hits given stations. These stations just don't play tones. These ones do. Each one is specific because I can hear the triple that hits when the train hits a. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, interesting. Oh, we're so close to getting this extension ready, y'all. Are we gonna get it before the end of week 5? Probably not. But it's almost there. It is almost there. Alright, you know what? I'm going to be slightly rude. We're going to bump it up to 4, and just remember that once the extension gets built, we have to drop it back down to 350. Potomac Street, I know. The problem is these two stations are probably not going to do a great job at paying for the interest that we've built, that we've assumed on that bond. But you know, we'll get there. I promise we'll get there. I just want to build other lines. So one thing I'm thinking of is while we're working here on St. Louis, I may save and pause and then try a new city just to see if we want to start from scratch somewhere. The only other city I'm intimately familiar with is Washington, D.C., as I kind of mentioned earlier. It's in my area right now. Um, and Washington, D.C. has an amazing metro system, at least compared to most of the U.S. Not because like the architecture is really distinct, it's cool, it's effective, and the networking that Washington D.C. has is also pretty darn good. Now D.C. has a wheel and spokes metro system for the most part. Not even really much of a wheel; it's just a spokes metro system. Um, I would like to add that wheel component to it, or turn at least the center part into more of a grid as opposed to a spoke system. I'm thinking of like London, and London has an amazing grid with its metro. I'm unfamiliar with the Paris metro, but I know it's also one of the best in the world. Same thing with like Tokyo and Shanghai. Um, but instead of just having a spoke system getting people in and out of the city for work, I want to create a grid of some sort, and I can maybe incorporate that into a spokes design by helping to stagger the spokes around and do specific loops and things like that. Um, but as I've learned from working on St. Louis here, is that you really need to just build one line to start with, make sure it's really nice and profitable, and then you'll have enough to like make a second line the way you want to. Because again, this like gold line here is our second line, and it's not quite what I want it to be. As I said, we want it to extend up into St. Charles eventually. We want it to serve a little bit further into South County eventually. We're at 193. That's actually pretty good. But yeah, if we go back to demand stats, there's a lot of people down here that we can still be serving. And it's actually really popular here, which thrills me. I'm almost thinking it might be worth, instead of having, the one line loop all the way down here, if we have this line just go this way and just have it a completely separate line that cuts through all the residential here. There's not a lot of worker stuff unless you want to count this little corridor here, and there's another little corridor here. So I think this might be Manchester, and then this is 44. Trying to recall all my street names. So yeah, here's 44, absolutely. And what's this? This is, yeah, that's not a highway. I think that's just Manchester Boulevard. This here is about, I think, Highway 40, or Highway 64, as the proper interstate system calls it. Yeah. Not a bad idea to get just a route that does 64, but we're going to link back up to 64 with pink here anyway, and there's not many people or workers to be hooking up here, so I'm not worried about following I-64. But having something follow Manchester, not a bad idea, and having a sort of South County line, also not a bad idea. So this is Manchester. What would be a good color that would also work with Manchester's M? Can't we do magenta because we've got pink? I don't want to do mauve because that's just we could do like an M for Mandarin orange. Oh, we're so close. We're at 195. It's still 11 a.m. We probably won't be able to build the extension this evening, but maybe tomorrow we'll be able to build it. So we're going to build the extension and then immediately drop prices down to 350, maybe even 325 as a celebration of having the new extension open. Oh, we're so close, y'all. We're so close. We basically need 200 million. I have to wait till it actually flips over to 200, especially because we need to build a crossover by this station. All right, so we're at 200 now. It's 6 p.m. Let's wait until the end of rush hour. Actually, hang on, because that crossover, the crossovers were like 12 million, aren't they? So it's not 200 we need, it's 212. Ugh. Well, okay, we can build the extension, and then while we are waiting for um what am I saying here? Well, so I can't change the actual route until we put the crossover in because the end terminal needs the crossover. Um, so actually let me add a crossover in just now so that we can see the proper pricing. Because now this build is going to go back to insufficient. Yes, exactly. Because we've now added one scissor crossover, which is pushed. Okay, I don't need 212, I need 210. But that's actually proper now. I wish you could easily see where you had. Okay, you can see there's a crossover there at McKnight's. There is no crossover right here, even though I think the game has thought we put one in. Because I messed it up last time around, honestly. I confused it, I tried building it when I didn't have the funds, and it's been messed up ever since. Because we've got crossovers at either side of this station, and there's only one right here. I guess what I could do is build a crossover here, and make the pink line come up to here instead. Yeah, well, we'll get there. As I said, we'll get there. These are the things you have to remember when you're building track tunnels. What? I don't know why it says tunnels there, because we're building at 5 meters above ground. Let's go back over here. It's lunchtime, early afternoon. Gold is still having trouble. Ooh, you are massively packed. All right, so when we build the extension, we're also going to increase service on gold for the middle hours, which may turn those middle hours into a loss instead of a profit. But I'm hoping that the profits coming in from the rest of the system will offset it. Because we actually were already very profitable even before we raised ticket prices. So if we go back to the original prices with a little more service and a little further extension, I'm hoping that the profits that we had then won't go away completely. 207, 208, 209. Come on, rush hour, get us there, get us there, get us there. 210. Oh, we just touched it. Build. Okay, it's been built. Insufficient funds. Oh, because yeah, because I'm just completely negative. Anyway, so that's been built now. It is evening time. Let's wait until the last train on Pink West goes. Oh, it's already out, isn't it? Yeah. All right. So we're gonna pause. We're going to the route Pink West. We are going to edit route. We're going to take these off and add these on. So Pink West now has 7 stations. Now, in theory, we can actually stop Pink West here. But until we actually fix Pink's whatever it's going on, we're not going to be able to do that. So, confirm changes. Now trains. We're out of cars to add stuff there, so we need more cars. Let's just play now. Oh, and we did that, so let's now go over to gold. Gold, as we said, Chesterfield East construction stalled. Actually, well, no, it's not stalled. We just built it. We're going to bring one more there and lower our prices back down. All right, so we now have noticeably more service going on. And Pink West, honestly, so Pink is getting 7-minute frequencies during rush hour 1733. Great. Pink West, 1235 and none. Again, none, I wonder if it would be good to have now. You know what? Sure. It's far enough out. Let's add some late night service on Pink West. Now, Pink West is absolutely going to need late night service once we get it out to the airport over here. Where'd it go? This airport. We're not there yet, but we'll get there. All right, so now we're going to let this run for a day or two, and we'll see what our profits and things look like. We can watch the hourly if we really want. Actually, it's still looking okay. Because we had our changes done by, like, what, around here? We made some other changes, but our operational... Okay, so now we're in the middle of the day. Well, okay, gold is... That time period looked a little weird to me. So we might have... I was about to say we maybe shouldn't have put the third train on gold midday. But everything else is working out, so... I'm not... Alright, so there was... When we just tanked to make sure that we had our extension built. Massive costs! Let's go daily now. Yup. 200 million in construction. We're probably going to want to buy some more trains at some point soon to increase service. I mean, but look, we've already done a nice little... So that's basically -1 million up to, well, somewhere. 7 million, 8 million in one day? What? So that was 10 million profits, revenue, or revenue expenses was about 10 there, or 9. And it's looking to be about 9 again here, maybe even 10 this time. We're making 10 million a day, that's not bad. And more than pays for our, bond payments, or it doesn't more than, actually I take that back, it does not more than pay. It almost perfectly pays for our bond payments. But actually, hang on, because that was an increase. Operational expenses. Huh. Oh, so hang on, so... Oh, so the 30... Oh, okay, so 34.8 plus 7.9 gives us the 44.5. So the bond payments are included in the operational in the expenses. It's not operational stuff, but... Okay. I am pleased with that. Sooner or later, what I'm going to do is just completely rehash what Pink is doing. So that it can maybe be one continuous line, especially once we get it out to the airport. I feel like having it be one continuous line would work nicely. We're already up to 6 million. Jeez. Well, we commented that watching the numbers from the other day. Yeah, not bad. So that's actually a good thought process to have, though. So if we want to make any sort of extension between the station and the track costs, it's like 100 million per station added, which is kind of insane, especially if we're making 10 million a day, then every 10 days we can add a station, which sounds pretty reasonable. But again, we're only on day 30 and I've already played nearly 5 hours of this. So just waiting 10 days of game time takes quite a bit. I probably could stand to just keep ticket prices a bit higher. It didn't seem to harm ridership that much. But again, I'm a transit-minded person. I would love to just let people use it. I wonder, since we've had the fix for the pink line, we've increased capacity there, we've increased a little bit more gold line midday stuff, and we've extended pink west. I am now curious what our demand looks like. So demand stats. We're getting some purple dots out here. I'm pleased with that. Now again, almost everyone is still driving to work. I think these places are all not going to turn away from red until we get just more residents hooked up with the metro. Honestly, here's a completely off-the-wall thought. What if I make just like a little loop line in here? And that really makes this a hub, which it already is. That is a wild thought. Absolutely wild. But yes, I think what I'm going to do next is there's not a lot of ridership going on. So if I put one station like right around here-ish, you're getting some residents and some workers. Another station out here for just the workers. Hang on. Residents, workers, maybe like right here. Yeah, something like right here. And then you guys are so far out. I guess I can just put, so this is I-70 here. So yeah, we're going to take the train up and over, again, hitting somewhere here. Ooh, actually, now that I look at this is going to be hard to thread the needle through. Unless I like that. Very wide. That might be in the way, that's airport stuff. But we've got some nice transit-minded people over here. But again, we need like 200,000 bucks just to put 2 more stations in. But once I hit like this station right here, whatever we build here, that's going to be the kind of nexus for the next line that does this. Because actually hitting this group of workers, but I want to hit this group of residents as well. Why are workers and residents always in different areas? That just, I know why, it's just zoning. Now, how would I manage this? So if we've got a station here, we come in to hit these residents, tank over to hit the workers, because these residents are already being served by this line, so I can, in theory, Yeah, kind of a little S-bend there. And then just come straight down because, again, this line's coming there. Again, there's not much worth hitting in here at all, which makes me not like that as much. I guess what I could do, hang on. If I just have the pink line just hit these residents, and this line come in and just hit these workers, that actually could work. So pink just does this. Whatever our next line is, again, hits this. And I'm planning so far ahead at the moment, which I really shouldn't, because I've only got 12 million, and we're talking like $1 billion extension. And I need to be making, what was it? To make extra bonds. So I need to be making 100 million a day to get the 500 million bond, which is, well, hang on. Hang on. No. I'm not looking at the right thing here. I can't do this. So this is daily. Yes. Why is it saying I have $100 million operational profit? That doesn't line up. Look at this. This revenue is in the 700s, expenses in the 800s. I should not be in the green here. And this is only saying I'm making about 10 million a day, not 100 million. I'm so confused. See, these line up. Oh, hang on. Last 14 days overview. Okay. Because I spent a ton on construction. That's, okay, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Hourly stuff, last 24 hours, I'm making 17 million. But on a week, over a week, I'm making 100 million. Okay. Hey, when I was saying earlier, just wait a week and we'll be ready, I wasn't lying. I have no clue how we're going to get even close to $100 million profit when my revenue is only 50 million. I have to double my ridership to even make that a possibility. How that's going to work, I don't know. I doubt it will. Uh-oh, okay, so we're losing. Okay, so that we now have nighttime work or nighttime scheduling out on Pink West. And so now we're losing money in the wee hours of the night. You know, that's fine. I think that's fine. But again, we're going to need to wait like a week or two before St. Louis I can do much else in. So what I'm going to do in that case, we are going to save. Hang on, save name. So this is STL B1 part 2. Save it. And it's giving me a hash on that as well. So what we're going to do right now, we've already been here for an hour and a half. We are going to start exit to menu. New game. We're going to start working in DC, and I have no immediate plans on how I'm going to map it out. Start with 3 billion, Mediterranean construction prices. So, all right. Here we come into Washington, D.C. This is where I've been for the past 13 years. It's intimately familiar with most of this now. So we have an airport here. That is that another airport? I think that's, oh, that might be the Air Force base. That's what that is. Because there's Dulles. And I don't even think I would be surprised if the map... Okay, yeah, the map stops before we hit BWI. All right, so let's study what DC looks like here. Oh no, I broke it. There we go, there we go. I didn't break it, I just didn't get close enough to see the details. Okay, so let's take a look at our demand. There is no... Okay, so we don't know what routes people are taking yet. But you can see where biggest concentrations of people are. There's Arlington here. So, fun fact, this little section of Arlington here used to have a bunch of government buildings, and so the metro goes through here right now. So there's a lot of people there. So it's kind of past real-life metro designs are affecting the metro plan that it looks like in this game already. Aside from that, there's just DC itself is pretty dense. You can see the DC line right here as we go off to Maryland. So up here roughly I think is around Silver Spring-ish. And you can draw the little core of Arlington right over here. So then, yeah, down here as we hit Alexandria, the DC line comes up and then goes back over. It's nice sorts of stuff. There's people out everywhere. Where am I? So if that's Dulles, actually I don't want to dox myself. But so there's just people everywhere for the most part. There are some areas where there are less. But let's see our worker density stuff. And it's just in DC itself and a few external hubs. So these right here, these are the red line spokes. So one of these two blobs is Silver Spring. Let me see if I can... So this is... Okay, this is... Yeah, so here's... Oh, whoa, I just accidentally rotated the map. No! Refocus. So this is Silver Spring. This is like the medical center area, if I recall correctly. Actually, I think this is the medical center. I'm not sure what that is, but might be Bethesda. But yeah, so we've got Bethesda, Silver Spring. This is probably the University of Maryland, if we zoom in. Yep, that's Maryland. And then they've got some large concentration of workers here. I think this is the National Archives, but it's not there. That's a golf course. Otherwise, we just want to get people into DC. Oh, this is an interesting concentration out here. Is this New Carrollton area? I don't know. Usually I'm almost never that far west. And yeah, there's not a bunch of stuff. Like, Northern Virginia is fairly spread out. Obviously, you've got the airport over here. So it would be nice to create the metro line that goes straight out to the airport, which is, again, is something that Washington, D.C. has done moderately recently with the Silver Line and the Silver Line extension. Oh, wow. So they even have, so there's worker data up out to here. We've got residents up out to there. But yeah, here we're getting into, I think, the Chesapeake, Potomac. I think like Baltimore's like up here, so BWI should be somewhere around here. I think. Unless I'm imagining too much of our little Chesapeake there. All right, so the question is, what do I want to build first? What is likely the most profitable means of connecting workers and residents? So the obvious options, well, so there's, again, Bethesda, Silver Spring. There's a tech corridor up here, if I recall correctly. Could be interesting making one line that connects in. I love the idea of connecting to the university. Another airport down here. A couple of centers there, but otherwise, you can't really go wrong in terms of finding residents to connect. So it really is, at this point, finding the best whatever's to get through and in. So comparing Bethesda and Silver Spring, there's certainly, it looks to me like there's more um, residents going up the Silver Spring route versus going up the Bethesda route. What other options? There's the Air Force. I mean, I'm surprised they don't have a worker concentration there. Um, da, da, da. This would be an interesting place to hit. Is that Tyson's? Is that what I'm seeing here? Yeah, I think that's Tyson. Yeah, that's definitely Tyson's. So, honestly, my first thought is just connecting Dulles um, to DC and then having a secondary line that connects Silver Spring down to National Airport. And the secondary line, again, as I've said previously, I think it would be best to just make one line and run with it. Now, being true to DC, I'm going to be building underground because DC actually has height restrictions. There's a reason DC looks the way it does. You actually can't build buildings super tall, which is why over here in Roslyn, you've got just a ton of skyscrapers, but not in DC itself. Ooh, my throat. Hang on a moment. I was talking through DC Transit so much, I miss it. So the really interesting thing about DC is this city is just absolutely networked with metro stuff. I'm actually curious. So I mentioned earlier that one of my big ideas was to just create um, a grid system through DC itself instead of kind of the wheel and or the spoke design of the current metro. So with that in mind, I'm actually curious if maybe um, creating like one loop line that goes through just Arlington, north of the airport, and through most of DC. Um, and then we can set up spokes that come into that. Because I do want to set up a kind of grid system overall for DC. Um, yeah. So what we're going to do, I'm going to, hang on. So if I want to hit all of these, this is so Roslyn, Courthouse, Clarendon, Ballston area. We can get a metro line that goes through all of that. And then I'm going to have it loop around, actually. I want to hit this, but I also want to come down and make sure it gets the airport. The problem with the airport is having a line that goes east-west just doesn't really work. So that actually does kind of almost need a north-south line. So I might build north-south. That'll be part of the grid. Yeah. Okay. So I will... Okay. The first thing we are going to do is build a station by the airport. Well, we're going to build a station, because I want to hit in here as well, because if we're doing, hang on. If I have one line that does this, one line that does this, and then the loop that goes around, okay. All right, let's build the airport line first. That's just going kind of north-south. I do need to get it, like, so I need one point that's, like, right by the airport. Even though it's not putting any workers there, it's putting the workers over here. That's so rude. Why is it doing that? All right, so we're gonna... Ugh. Why? Game, I don't like your distribution of people. So yeah, we need a station on the airport grounds. Which I think, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Because the airport itself, here's like Terminal A, then here's like Terminals B and C. And this is like administrative building. So, and these are parking garages. So building the metro like right on top of the parking garage almost makes the most sense. But it's hard to do that and hit this area, which is what I want to do. All right, if I build stations here, and I try to get, yeah, this is about as close as I think I'm going to get to this administration building, and then people can walk into the terminal. All right, so that's what we're doing. We got to start building. Got to start building. So we're building stations. Ooh, do I want heavy or light here? Because heavy. Hang on, I can see more details. The train type heavy and metro, max speed, capacities 240. That, hang on, so if I'm thinking about the existing DC Metro, that is, I mean, 200 per car is a lot more with the current DC Metro. So we're going to go with light. Light Metro, we're going to do parallel, we're going to do above ground. Can I just build over the road here? Nope. Nope. Got to go a little bit higher. And that's actually quite rude. Well, okay, now we're going over the buildings. I don't like that. I don't like that. Because if the train is coming this way, it's like right here would be the best. So if I just do like this. Aviation circle, right. And then yeah, we're gonna do a lot of stations here, so the cost 40 million per station. We may only be building one line to start with, which honestly, that's what we said we would do. That's what we said we would do. All right, but oh, no routes yet. Demand. Yeah, I'm gonna do like one here. Another. I mean, this is a super dense area, so having a station every few blocks, not a bad thought. It's a little dense, but just what I know of this area is, let's make this, hang on, let me check the demand stats again. Instead of building right over this main road, it might be easier to build over this little side road here. And then use the highway to get over. Yeah. I like that. Oh, no wonder I was looking at the wrong thing. Workers are at the airport. I was looking at resident stuff. Hang on. Servicing both the airport and the workers is a bit tough. But you know what? Okay, I'm gonna, yeah, build the first station over here. Like right over here. Now this is, oh, we're gonna be scooping, I say. All right, so that distance a bit further up. Where's our demand? Yeah, like right up here should work. Just right above the street. Now from here, it's going to be weird. We can loop out over this way. There's no real demand in this area, right? I didn't think there was. There's a little person resident there. There's yeah, of course, the Pentagon. Yeah, I should probably build a station for the Pentagon. So that'll be like right up here-ish. Like right here. Yeah. Mm-mm. And we do need to go underground at some point. So actually that might be a good swap from here to go underground. Build, light. Okay, now let's go. Because this is going to come up and over. So let's try to make this like parallel-ish. Yeah. Rotary road. All right, before we do much else, let's build some tracks. If I just try to connect these. Because I'm crossing. Okay, yeah. All right. So actually, rotary road, we're gonna make that above ground and then go underground somewhere around here. Well, no, we kind of can't. We can maybe dive underground in this way. We're going right along the road. All right, let's try to make this station an underground station. Hang on. Oh, what's wrong here? I need station. There we go. All right, now here's the question. Can we build tracks that just go up and over? Go deeper, elevate track, or adjust route to avoid the roads. All right, this is... All right, maybe everything stays underground here. I don't like that. It's more expensive. But I think that's kind of what we have to do here. So, all right, we've got, again, underground station here at Aviation Circle. And then we built one over here, right? And then we built one here. All right, we're just staying underground. Connector road now. All right, let's build tracks. I mean, these are going to be... It's a slow section of track, but just letting it sink. I don't have to worry about eminent domain. So those are deep buildings, which kind of surprises me. I'll have to go a bit deeper in the future. Think. There we go. And that's full speed, baby. You are not going to be full speed. 54. Yeah, that's fine. All right. How's our cost looking? $250 million. So we made 1/12. This by itself is now 1/12 of our whatever. All right, now what did I say we were doing with our demand stats? We're making this somewhat aim up towards Silver Spring. I'm not going to get it to Silver Spring all the way. Oh yeah, because there's the workers there. We're just going to bring this up into this. We're going to bring it up close to Rock Creek Park. That's what we're doing. We're going to run it roughly parallel to Rock Creek Park. Yeah, we're going to get it into here. Yeah. Into here. There aren't many people here, so... Now, hang on. So work... If we've got this road that we're just going to come straight across through. I'm not going to do straight across. I want to go into Georgetown and over. So we're gonna make like a Georgetown station. There's the Kennedy Center. I wonder if that's worth a poor Kennedy Center since it got taken over. It's just been suffering so much. Because people rightfully don't want to give it money now. Yeah. All right. So I, in theory, just want to build something that kind of goes underneath everyone and up through here. So this needs to like really loop-de-loo over. I'm gonna build a Kennedy Center stop just for old time's sake, and then we're gonna have like a major crossover station right here. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty good to me. Build stations parallel 5 under. Yeah, we're going to Virginia Avenue, Kennedy Center, and then a big crossover station. Can I just build a station underneath here, or are these buildings more than 5 meters beneath grade? We want something like right here-ish. So let's make this. I forget which circle this is. All right, so there's K Street. Where's, okay, there's that. Build tracks. Track is above ocean floor. Track must be deeper than ocean floor. Or elevated. Okay, so hang on. If I just tell the track to go down to 8, it still thinks it's there. I'm telling it to build at 8 and it's not there, so. Ugh. Let me go to 9. Oh, track is, wait. Oh, that works. Okay, hang on. It's not quite there yet. Oh, I can see the... Oh, okay. I see what's going on. Let's now go back up, please. Track is above ocean floor, 8 meters deep. All right, let's see if we can extend like this. Because right now, it thinks I'm at 9. There we go. That works. Yay. All right, now let's go back up to our 5. Oh, we are hitting lots of buildings here. Hitting lots of buildings there. All right, hang on. So we're going to undo. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to remake these stations just at 10 meters below. Or let's go 9 meters below. See if we can get away with 9. Build stations. Yes, we got one here at the Kennedy Center. Virginia Avenue, and then I built one up here, right? K Street. Okay, so those are now at 9. Now, if I just try to connect, it's going to say, yeah, we have a problem. But if I start building and go in sections, because now in theory I'm down to 9. And there we go. We are at 9 below here. Nope, not deep enough. Not deep enough. Undo. Let's look at our, oop, that's not what I want, resume. There's something else. There's viewing options around here somewhere. Where did I see that? Building foundation depth. 10 to 14. That's kind of rude. So we need to go pretty deep. Oh, see, that one's quite deep. All right, so all right, we're now double cost. Let's see how deep we can go. All right, 24 gets us way too deep. So let's go just to like, let's say, not 15. I don't want to go all the way to 15 because if our platforms have to be a certain distance apart as they're crossing over, then we need some space to do that. So let's go to 12. Let's go to 12. Well, let's see, can I build, okay, I can build a station at 12 under everything here. So, Virginia Avenue, K Street. Awesome. Tracks. Track is not uh, enough there. Okay, that's fine. There we go. Now let's dink, and that's 61 miles per hour. It's fine. How's our cost looking? We're almost, okay, we're at like 750 million. Now I wanted to go just kind of up this way in general, right? There's not a lot of workers there, so we're just gonna come up and get like residents up to here-ish, I think. And it's DC, so we're gonna be making lots of little stops. So we're gonna make a station like right here first. And yeah, everything's in like the 10 to the 14 range. That's just so rude. Let's see, we're going to come up here and basically just shoot through, so I'm not gonna, let's see, there's a river there, but we can get through the river pretty easily. Let's do that. Track it. 76. Can we do better? If we just go completely under the river. Try to do a nice gentle curve and just do like this. Alright, it'll have to watch for water, but should be able to do 90. Yep. Awesome. Unfortunately, actually, hang on. Did I actually just make it really dumb by putting it that? Well, see, there's people there. There's people there. I'm not mad at that. And that's not too many blocks over to get done. Next up will be like right here-ish. And then like right here. So there were 3 more stops getting up to this bend in the river. Okay, okay. Let's build it. So this is the end point, so we need 1 here and 1 here. We're just doing roughly equidistant. Actually, let's go all the way up here. And this one, a little bit straighter, because we're going to start aiming north from there. So as I said, there'll be one like right around here-ish, going under these houses. And then one like here-ish. And we're definitely going to be renaming these. All right, how's our cost looking? There's 1.2 billion right there. So we're connecting a lot of residents down to the airport, down to the Kennedy Center, and we haven't done a lot of hitting the workers. All right, we're gonna build this though. We're gonna build this. I said I would only do 1 Um, uh, one line, but you know what? I just can't. I can't. Um, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna have a line that goes through here, which will eventually, I think, be our loop. Uh, actually, yeah, I think that'll be a good start, just doing that-ish thing. So let's now go, and let's see, we were building this at 12, so let's build another station at like 18, negative 18. Hopefully that's low enough. Here's another K Street stations. Okay, that works. And let me go back to our demand. So the residents, that station actually isn't hurting the residents very well, but we're gonna get into workers quite nicely. So I think, yeah, we'll have one line. This is gonna be like a workers line. Well, So if we're going, let's see. No, we're going to have this go up and into the residence area, and then have another part of our grid crosscut, I think. How does that work out for? See, now I'm second guessing what I had planned on earlier. I don't like this. I don't like this. Why is this so hard? Why is this so hard? We do want to hit all of these residents somehow. There are work. So actually, a nice line that does this would be amazing. Which again, if we hit these residents, these workers, these residents, and then we have another line that these workers. Now I'm going back to the whole spoke thing, which I didn't want to do. I wish you could view like combined resident worker demand so you could really help plan out your, a grid or something. So hang on. I'm thinking. If we have because there's the airport, right? Yeah. We want one line that's going to do something like this. But I feel like getting the airport into the city itself is really important. We have one airport connected already. If this line ends up going through... Oh, All right, what I'm thinking here is what's going to happen in DC is not necessarily a grid, but it might be like a set of triangles, which I talked about in my St. Louis video, or in my St. Louis area. So we've got a line of just a worker line that goes almost due east-west, a resident line that hits here. These residents aren't really helped yet, but if we have one resident line do this, a worker line do this, and another line do this, what happens then? This line, I think, would be good to loop back around, and it could just connect to whatever this east-west line is. So we've got one line going just straight this way, this line's going straight, this line's going straight, and then there's like a connector line which we can eventually loop back around. Okay, I like that. But that means let's do this east-west line for the moment, and then we'll worry about this diagonal and the connector later. If we can flesh it out properly. Okay, so. Again, K Street. So this is our major east-west line. Do I want K Street? Oh, do I want actually put one in Georgetown where it's missing right now? I think I do. Yeah, I do. So let's do it. Now this is really deep right now, but we're going to be going through here, so actually staying deep kind of makes sense. Build stations, we're at -18, which works out because of this -12 in the way. Here. And then this is going to, like, shunt over somehow to get under here. I think the actual Roslyn station goes north-south, if I recall, but we're going to make it go east-west. Because our north-south thing in the real life that goes down to the airport is now instead over by the Kennedy Center. So, based on, if I want to hit this corridor here, then the station that I want to make is probably like right here. Now, does that actually hit where our demand is? That's that. Oh, yeah, that works pretty well. That works pretty well. We're right on top of a major workspace with some residents. And then otherwise, just going to fill out this corridor area here. Yeah, this whole corridor. So there's lots of residents. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that works out great. That works out great. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna put something like right here. Something like right here. Underground, like right in the middle of these two roads. Then right here. Now, let me recall what I said about my plan for these routes, because this route is our east-west route. It's supposed to eventually... Oh, I didn't even hit the full corridor yet. I need to put like a couple more in here. At roughly the same spacing, but we're going to follow this road so that we can get out here. Well, let's see. We can put one here and one here. Would that be enough? 1, 1. Yes. That will do. Build station. Light. We don't need to be this deep underground anymore, actually. Once we got to this one, so 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's redo all this. Hudson, Barton. All right, let's go back up to 12. Not that it makes a huge difference, but it'll be easier to come back for air later. So there was one over here. Irving, one kind of right in the middle of this. One right here. And like one right here. Now we've got to do 2 more with one all the way over here. And one kind of in the middle. And we're actually going to go under the buildings to make the curve of the tracks better. Yep, that works. 90, 90. Now, these are such short sections of track, there's no need to make sure these are going at maximum speed, but it is nice. All right, and now, this we need to dive to get under there, and that is, yeah, it's a slow section of track, but that's okay. All right, so we've got that in. How's our cost looking? 1.2. I've only got 1.7 to work with here. Oh, we haven't even put crossovers in yet. Oh, I had forgot about crossovers. Anyway. As I said, we're going to build out just a straight sort of east-west here. because then we'll have one diagonal here and one coming through. So we're ultimately trying to get over here. Trying to get over there. Let's just try to take K Street due west. We're going to have to watch our costs. We're going to really have to watch our costs. But yes, we don't need to be so deep anymore. We'll make one. We'll try to make this a nice gentle gradient as we go. So every few blocks. So one here. Then this is right north of the White House now. Oh, that's a... I made that really diagonal. Let's try to do better than that. There we go. 16th Street. Let's build our tracks in... So remember, we were starting at 18. No, we're starting at 16. No, 18. I know what I'm doing. And we're coming back up to 12. Awesome. Cost 1.4. I can do 2 more stations, and then that's probably gonna be it. For now, we'll have to see if we're making 10 million a day, and then hopefully get a bond to make more extensions and more lines. Thankfully, we've been learning, so let's keep at it. So we're going to do something like right here-ish. 13th Street, and then one right under the square here. All right, tracks. Unfortunately, you can see this is wobbling just a bit. Oh, I'm already out of funds? Oh no, I slightly overestimated. Damn. Okay. All right, let's just do this then. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, we've hit most of the workers. We haven't hit a ton of residents. But we're going to see if these two starting lines, so we've got airport, commercial business district, Pentagon, some of downtown DC and more residents. Well, then we've got lots of downtown DC, this corridor, which also has residents. This is our starting point. Okay, so let's 1.6 build. All right, we've got just enough to start with some crossovers, which are absolutely needed. Now, I think a really nice thing to do, where are we? We would add crossovers at almost any station so that you have a lot more freedom to change your pathing. But we probably don't have that luxury to start with. So we've got 4 crossovers, build. Okay. We're down to 70 million to start, and we're probably going to need to spend those on trains, because I just completely forgot we need to buy trains. Totally forgot. Yeah, that's actually quite bad. I totally forgot we need to buy trains. All right. New route. All right, so we are going to, so that actually is orange. So we're going to, yeah, make this orange line, circle, not, we're on the light, create route. All right, let's edit. Okay. Oh, and it's doing something weird with the numbering again. I don't like that. I don't like that. All right, we are now here. If you go back, all the way back. All right, and we are going to end. All right, that's good. So that's 11 stops. Confirm changes. Trains. So we want 4 cars per train. I'm out of train cars completely, it says. So we need to buy some. Oh, because it's light rail. We're given heavy rail to start with. How many can we buy? We've got 70 million. Okay, so hang on. Well, first let's buy enough to get 1 line or 2 things in. 3, 4. All right, let's buy 4 to start with. We want, so it's 31-minute frequency, 15, 10. Okay, that's not bad. If we do a 1, 2, 3 on both lines, then we should be able to run things well. All right. So we can buy some more trains if we want. So there's our orange route. So now what am I going to do? Because I'm already saying I'm doing something noticeably different here. Because what the line that goes by the airport in real life are both the blue and the yellow. And what I'm planning on doing with this, as I said, this is going up towards Silver Spring eventually, and that's the red line. So I can mix colors a lot. Now what I said is we've got our main east-west, and that's orange. We're going to keep it calling orange, although this one will go to the airport. We've got 1 line that's going to cut this way, I said. This one I think I might call the red. Then we had... Wait a minute, what did I say we had? Show me my demand again. So we had this line going through, 1 line going like this, another line that's going to do a little bit of a loop. What do I want to call the loop line here? I don't know. Well, okay. I think what I'm going to do is call this vertical one blue. It also complements orange well, so we're starting with a blue and an orange. Oh, nope. Trash that. New route. We're going to call this blue. Light. Create route. Edit. This is airport. Okay, and here the numbering isn't going funny. So I don't know what was up with orange to start with. But we're starting with blue. And now we loop around. So both of these lines will absolutely get extended, assuming we have the money for it, but the important thing, I think, is also going to be adding the other lines. But as we've just seen, it's like 1.5 billion to add these lines in. And that's insane. Okay, that's done. Confirm changes. Trains. Wait, all right, we're gonna buy 2 more. We can do that. So we're doing a 3, 2, 1 on everything. What's our starting ticket price? $3? All right, fine. We'll let that run. We'll see how it goes. All right, let's. I like having the minimum depth, but let's actually get that out. So we're looking a little bit more realistic here. Yeah. That looks pretty good. All right. We have 10 million left in the bank here in DC. And we have about 40 minutes to see how this is gonna start running. Let's set this in motion, y'all. Fingers crossed. Well, already. Wow. It's not even 1 a.m. We're already getting a ton of people getting involved here. We're not getting any capacity issues yet, which is nice. Okay. We're making that much money just in the evening hours? Holy mackerel. I mean, just it's not even 1 million yet, but that ratio for the evening hours, that's incredible. You love to see it. Operational profit already at 6 million. If we can get operational profit above 10 million like right away, that would be insane. Okay, 12, sure. Now again, we haven't done a full day yet. Holy mackerel, look at that. Are we getting capacity issues? That's so many people coming in and using this. Yes. Okay. I don't think we need to extend the blue line just yet, but we absolutely want to extend the orange. All right, let's already look at demand. We've got lots of walking in here, which is fine. We're actually already getting a bunch of transit in here, which is okay. You're all right. Orange, 600 to some out of 800. Okay, you're over. You're over. It's 4 p.m. Washington. Oh, I need to rename these stations. Okay, but Orange needs more trains operating. Clearly. Where am I? Hang on. Right, where's my train information? If we can get down to like a 5-minute frequency during rush, that'd be awesome. Okay, yeah, that train. Oh, now it's overflowing. Okay, now it's fine. Because we are in late night hours now. How's blue doing? We haven't had any capacity flags on blue, which is a little surprising. We're 1 a.m. Blue's got some people using it, but not a lot. Orange is definitely where more people are. I mean, that makes sense. We hit that corridor, the Roslyn Clarendon Courthouse Ballston corridor there. That is where the money comes in. Yep. Oh, let's rename stations. So, where are you? Vermont. You are not Vermont Street. You are Ballston. Um, Alright, so I think Irving, we're gonna say Danville here. This is gonna be... Now, there were a bunch of universities here as well, or at least have satellite campuses through here. Ulyss Street, this is Courthouse. Pierce Street, Kent Street, this is Roslyn. Let's see, Pierce Street. This is something village. What is this called? I'm going to go back and look at my maps. If we now go to, hang on. Oh, that's not what I want to look up. I want to go over here. Roslyn. So there's that. Highlands. What is this area called? Colonial Village. There we go. Yeah. So I knew it was a village of some sort. We're just going to call it Colonial for now. Oh, blue capacity at 2 in the afternoon. Interesting. 31st, you are not 31st. You are Georgetown. K Street. Oh, which circle is that? I should know my DC circles, but I don't actually go into DC nearly as often as like I should. That's Washington Circle. K Street, Washington Circle. Yeah, okay. Hey, let me see. Actually, let me go in. I see station ridership. Yeah, Washington Circle. It's on both. 16th, actually, I'm not mad at that. 19th, 16th, 13th. I spaced those out quite well, didn't I? And then we'll hit the square over here once we have enough money to do it. But again, as we said earlier, each station is like $1 million with the station and track that's involved. Not a million, 100 million. I've got my ones and zeros straight, I promise. We will at one point probably want to do a line that just kind of, again, hits all of the cultural stuff here. Is there actually demand? See, so there's that. Okay, yeah, we can do a like Smithsonian line at some point that, you know, maybe hits the Kennedy Center and goes over. A very short one like that. Oh yeah, let's look at our why did I just turn that off? Demand. Who's using transit now? So workers. Everyone's still driving because we only have like 10% of the Washington Metro currently made. And 1% of people are actually doing transit. Lots of people in this area are, which makes sense. And we got some chunks. Those make sense as well. But we definitely need to have some extensions soon if we want to tap into more people. You know, the tracks are short distance enough. I wonder if I could actually finagle 2 new stations out of a 1 million thing. So let's see what happens if we try to build. So if I just do this, 9th, oh, well, it's going to be something else. And actually, let's go look at our demand again. All modes. And remember, we are trying to make this our east-west line. So just how east-west are we thinking? We got work. Way out there is the end goal for this line. So really just straight east-west. So we're going to do one more. I don't even have enough funds for that single station. 100 million. Okay. So we're going to do then, hang on, let's undo. Because if we try to go in, we can get 100 million bonds, so we can build a single station if we want. I would love, oh, look at these profits. Holy mackerel. Let's see. We also said we were having capacity issues on Orange, right? So let's go at least go in. Yeah, let's go in and buy a train for Orange. We need to get more, so let's buy. Spend 10 million to get another train on here. Oh, what's our frequency now? It's not going to be 10 minutes, like maybe 7 minutes, 8 minutes? 8 minutes, yeah. Wow. Oh, well, okay, it's not quite rush at the moment. Okay, Georgetown is too busy, but we're just starting the evening rush. Show me... Okay, that's where we built a train, or bought a train. So our operational costs will be going up now, but our profits hopefully will go up much more. Because that's about the same, unfortunately. So that extra train hasn't really helped us at the moment. But we'll give it a day or two to see what happens. Let's look at our daily. We haven't even had a full week yet, y'all. Our balance is just going up, which is awesome to see. We're making 28 million a day. So we're already doing like 2.5 times better than we were in St. Louis. Washington, D.C. is way denser than St. Louis is, so that kind of makes sense. But yeah, since we have underground stations, they cost more than the above ground stations that we were doing in St. Louis. So if we wanted to build 2 stations, we would probably need like 250 million just to extend the orange line. 250 million plus 12 million for a crossover, plus probably another 10 million for trains. So instead of 250, it's more like 275 million to make our 2-thing extension. Yeah, it's just for 2 stations. So if we're making 28 a day, I mean, we could just wait 10 days and we would have enough guaranteed. But I'm impatient. We're going to see if we can get up to 120 million, then get a bond and make our next 2 stations open. And part of the reason why I want to build at least 2 at a time is because then that saves costs on the crossovers. Building a single crossover with every station adds up. You only need crossovers at the ends of the lines. So that's that. Yeah. Blue is not helping us very much right now. I should have really just built orange, but I wanted to hit the airport. Just as like a general civic planner thing, airports are important. So I feel like those are really important to get. But as you can see, you know, our residents aren't using it that much. And Clarendon also full. Georgetown overloaded. It's 4 o'clock. Washington Circle, warning. We're still about not even at 5 yet. There's 5. We could, in theory, put another train on Orange during the middle period. Do I want that? How's our... How is our hourly stuff going? I mean, we're chugging along. Daily though. Again, we've got just a single day. Our revenue has barely budged. Our expenses have barely budged. Oh, so there was the shift, I think, with the expenses going up. 47, 47, 48. Yeah, haven't seen a big increase. Or a big change thanks to the increased service on Orange. So I could increase service on Orange again, but if we did that, I think I might want to raise ticket prices. Um, Operational profit is 100 million, and oh, that's in the week. So operational profit is about 27, 28 million. Yeah, we need to greatly extend the system before we can even think of getting that extra bond. But again, once we hit like 120 or so, I'll get our first bond and extend us 2 stations. Let me make sure I know what I'm naming them while we're waiting. While we are waiting, because that is that. Uh, which square is that? I don't know. I don't know my DC stuff. This is in, so that's New York and Massachusetts and K and 7th and 8th and 9th. It's where the old Carnegie Library was, so I might call that station Carnegie Square. That'll be a good thing to do. That will be a good thing to do once we get that money, and we're very close. We are very close. What is this? Yeah, we're making so much more money here in DC than we did in St. Louis, which again, it's just a density thing. Um, and we almost certainly will want to add another train to Orange once we extend it, just so that we keep ride times low. Um, we may, if we're building 2 new stations and increasing ride times, that might be worth increasing the ticket price a quarter. Um, and yeah, we're basically at 120 now. So what I'm gonna do, let's get that bond. Got a bond in now. Let's build 2 new stations. Light minus 12. Actually, if we're just following this one road, we might be able to. Oh no, we can't go under this building. All right, so I was about to say we might be able to go shallower. But let's say underneath Carnegie here. That's actually a horrible line. There we go, that's better. But let's see if we can come back up and go shallow for our next one over. Because we're just under the road. Yeah, that should do. It's like 1, 2, space 1. That's a little bit further away than I might want it otherwise. Let's connect. Connect. Awesome. Add crossover. How's our costs? 201 million, and we've got 225. All right, let's build, baby. All right, so we're gonna want. Oh, it's almost low period, and now it is low period. All right, we're gonna pause. We are going to go into Orange. Edit route. Oof. Okay, so we need to undo the large numbers here. Well, I have to redo them. This is another reason to avoid doing lots of small extensions and instead just do a small number of larger extensions. And let's see here. Almost done. All right, there we go. Trains. We're actually still at just 8 minutes frequency. Even uh, 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 oh, I didn't save that. Oh, let's hope it works. We're going to add a train here. We're going to. I think we have enough money to buy. Yes, we do. All right. Play. Hopefully that works. It. Oh, maybe that train was still on the track. Oh, it did the bad thing. I might have to clear that entire route now. Because no one's going to 7th or 3rd. Yeah. Alright, we need to clear that route. I didn't save the stations before I moved off of that. Moved off that screen. So, we have to trash. Oh. Cannot delete route with trains on it. Alright, fine. Let's let it run until there are no trains on it. Current trains 0. Awesome. Alright, delete route. New route. Orange. Light Metro. Create. Edit route. It's got nothing on it right now, although it looked like it had stuff, so we'll see if this works. 0. Yeah, it's the numbering is all weird, but we should be able to make this work. All right. All the way over. Yes, sorry to those of you who are waiting in Boston. We're gonna get you out here. Why did it jump from 8 to like 15 right away? I don't like seeing that. Why is it saying 0 right at Washington Circle? Okay, now it's just really confused. Hopefully these numberings work out when we're completely done. All right, let's see what we've got here. It says 0, 1, 2, 3, and it comes back up 23, 24, 25. So there should be 13 stations overall. Yes, that works. Confirm changes. There we go. That's what we didn't do last time, and that's what screwed us up. All right, now the schedule is there. Play. All right, we're still morning hours. All right, we've got our 2 trains, 3 trains. And since we've now done this change, we are going to increase ticket prices just a bit. Why are you already at capacity? Oh, lordy. I did the wrong thing with orange. The trains need to be 4 each. There we go. Clarendon, calm down. Washington Circle is over full. Good lord. We're in morning rush hour, so that kind of tracks. We're already back up to 20 million. We'll let it run a day or two and figure out how much we're making per day. Now that we've got our bond that we're trying to pay off. Because again, we basically spent all of our bond plus the money we had in the bank. So that was like 220 or yeah, like 225 for 2 stations, a crossover, and some new trains. Yeah, 2 stations, a crossover, and 1 new train of 4 long. So things are going okay, and actually I bet the ridership is already yeah, 5K at that station. It's as busy as any of these others in the central corridor there. It's pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. But we will... So, okay, what are our next extensions going to be, or are we even going to try a new route at some point? So let's look at our demand. What are you doing? Washington Circle. Okay. So yeah. We have to get... So, we can go anywhere based on residence. That's not a worry. There's almost no low resident area. So what workers are we hitting? So... Okay, now here's a thought. If we get Orange Line out to here... I know we talked about doing like a loop line. What if it's the loop line that goes up into Tyson's and Orange just keeps going this way? That's a thought for way in the future, I think. Because how many stations is that going to be? Based on the spacing that we have here, I mean, we'll have several in Tyson's. We'll probably have less as we go through here, but here's a high density area for residents and some workers. So we'll want a high density of stations through here. Moderately high. It'll loop back around over here toward the airport. We cannot have the trains go over the runways. But yeah, we would go up and like through here. There's also another resident corridor that should do like this. Hang on. We have one resident corridor doing this, a diagonal this way, and then a diagonal this way. That's weird, but it could work. Again, we kind of want a grid system if we can, as opposed to a whatever in spokes. And we have also the Smithsonian line that we wanted to make to get more of the worker. Oh yeah, we need to... We're definitely needing to go something like this. Well, okay, hang on. Let's look at some of these stations that we have. Georgetown. You're at a negative 18. Virginia, you're at like negative 12, right? Yes. So if we get a Smithsonian station that goes up this way, then we'd have to do 12 here, 18 here, and then like move it back to 12 over here. But what's our next biggest demand area that we don't quite have yet? I mean, there's a bunch of residents in here, so this diagonal line really could be helpful. As could this one, the loop that we're talking about. We do need to hit these other workers. So actually having that parallel Smithsonian line that goes like up here, over, and across would be nice. Would be nice. 13th Street already packed. We're at day 7 now. These are our hourly stats. We're still making bank. How is it day to day? Oh wow, our costs went way up. Day 6, what happened here? Okay, well, we built stuff. for one. Yeah, that was construction. That was just day 6. That's all. Well, no, this is actual expenses. Because the train operations and bond payments, it's like 24 here. Train operations and bond payments, like 36. So that really jumped there. Why did the bond payments jump? Oh, it's because that was actually just a full day of them for the first time. Our train operations are way up. So that really cut into our profit there. Big cut into the profit. Our revenue actually did go up. 48 to 54. Is that actually correct for going from 3 to 325? I don't think so. I think that price increase did not translate, so we lost writers. 325 over 3 is a ratio of 1.08. While 54 over 48 is a ratio of 1.125. Yeah, so now to be fair, the price change happened midday, so it probably didn't reflect everything. Day 7 will be a little bit more instructive in that sense. But it doesn't seem like it's going to be outstripping much, so the price increase did not fully translate into a revenue increase, which means we did lose riders, even with the extension. So maybe I don't want to have it at 325. Maybe just 3 is actually better. Let's wait for this full day to be done. We're on day 8 now. Okay. We're now officially in day 8. So we can look again. Yeah, it's again like maybe 55. So you know what? Let's drop it back down to 3 and run the experiment. So yeah. It's still early morning hours, so changing the price during then shouldn't do a big difference on our profits. I wonder what would happen if I just tried to build a completely new line just right here. Will it let me, or will it say that I have tracks in the way? Or will it automatically split the tracks for me? If I just go here to here, it'll let me build it. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. That's actually pretty cool, and it simplifies trying to make this Smithsonian line. I don't have to build fully new stations. I can leverage these 2 that we already have. That's actually nice. Oh, now I have insufficient funds. Because that section of track by itself, 57 million. I've got 55, 56. So not bad. Again, if I can get to the point where I have like 200 million, I can put 2 stations in and start my little Smithsonian line. So clear these blueprints. But that's good to think about. And it opens me up for having more flexible routes. Courthouse is at capacity. It is 2 in the afternoon. I've already increased frequency during this period, so I'm not going to do it again. And it's going to be a long time before I pay off that darn bond. Well, actually, hang on a minute. Maybe not. Okay, yes, it will. I'm at 57 right now. The bond is 92. Day-to-day revenue is up to 30 million, which is not bad. We're going to see if day 8... So hang on. Expenses. And my expenses went down going from day 6 to day 7. Why did my expenses go down? That's interesting. Huh. Very interesting. But yeah, so we're gonna plan on doing a Smithsonian line here, another like east-west line here, and then our loop line that comes around. Comes around way wide. Right? I'm sorry, I'm just going back and forth. I'm just planning in my brain here because my brain likes to plan. So actually this angle by the Pentagon works out really well for this line that'll go here. And if we just swoop, honestly, the loop line could even hit down here and come over. Wait, I wonder if we can make blue do that. That's a thought. It's kind of what we were. That's one of the proposals that's actually been thrown about in DC over the past couple of years. Is how can we really revamp the metro? And a blue line loop has been suggested in the past. Not something I'm thinking a huge amount about right now. It'll probably be a separate. I'd probably make it maybe like a yellow loop here because this blue still wants to come down here. We've got this swoop that will go over on this one here. Well, this swoop comes down and up so they meet. Okay, yeah. This comes down over. So there's our loop, which is not going to come hit the airport again. This east-west just grazes the airport. It actually hits the Pentagon, I should say. So this is coming this way. This is this way. There's another east-west that actually will probably come down to wherever that intersection point is. I like planning, as you can tell. Even if actually just waiting to implement it takes a long time. Oh, you know what? We passed day 7. Did we get a... We did get a mail or a news thing. I remember now. Let's see what's on our transit feed. Oh, wait. We've got a mix of things. This is still the St. Louis one. St. Louis transit, yeah. Why aren't we seeing the DC transit? I guess we haven't officially saved it. We'll have to wait for it to save. And then we can see how people are tweeting about our DC line. Actually, you know what? Let's save it now. I want to see that. So save name. So this is DCV1. Game saved successfully. Resume. But yes, who's actually taking transit here? Orange line, again, super popular. The north and south lines of the blue are kind of helping. But we will get them extended at some point soon. Who's walking? There's actually a lot of walking in DC because it's so dense. Orange, come on! We're in rush hour. You aren't giving me the money to justify increasing... Okay, yeah, day 7 versus day 8. That did actually just drop. So not super worth it either way. We kind of hit the peak of supply and demand, I guess. I'm not going to raise it back up, not yet. Because that's just kind of rude. To drop it as a test and then put it back up when there's no real discernible change. So yeah, we'll just wait. We will just wait. We are making some relatively good 30 million a day profit. It just... Takes a while for a day to happen here. I'm wondering if we just pay off the bond and then immediately get a new one. That seems like... Well, immediately getting a new one would only make sense if you were going to use it to build. And we don't have that at the moment. Right, so... And I really honestly want to build like 3 new stations next. Because just adding 2 doesn't seem to help a lot. So like I would want to build one like up here, hit these 2, and then like build one here and then here. So yeah, I'd want 3 new stations if I was to build another line. And we do need to hit more residents. Like we need to get down here. There's not really any workers here, but there are here. So yeah, getting like these residents, these workers, and connecting it back over to the Pentagon. So hang on, so I could do 3 lines here, connect it over so it's that. And then again, 3 stations here. We'll eventually do some sort of connection coming this way and coming this way. It's just a lot to plan. It's a lot to plan, y'all. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah, this line will do this eventually. I will have that swoop do that. I'm just talking to myself to pass time. There's not much going on otherwise. We are at 9:30, so I've already hit time. But I'm curious. Still at 89 million for the bonds. And I'm at 78. Well, we'll hang around. If we're making 30 million a day, if we wait 1 day, in theory, we should be well past that. And I'm sorry for all the capacity issues, people. It's on blue, 8 in the morning, orange. Good lord. Yeah, orange needs more capacity. But affording it is just... The operations cost increase isn't worth the extra capacity unless I raise prices, but that also lowers ridership. Speaking of ridership, actually, how are our new stations? Okay, you are doing well. 3K even there at, oh, that's, I didn't rename that, did I? 7th Street. No, this is, as we said, this is Carnegie Square. And I might be close enough now to pay off the rest of the bond. At which point we just have to then start waiting to raise enough money to get the next bonds to add the next stations. We can pay this off. Alright. Which now means we're poor. But we should be able to make that back relatively quickly. Again, if we're making like 30 million a day. It's only day 10 now at 5 p.m., so we'll wait till day 11 at 5 p.m. How did that actually reflect on bond payments? Total expenses. Okay, that popped in, so that's a way high now. So, ka-chunk, chunk, But if we look larger term, so there was our extra construction, there was paying it back. So that was a 4-day turnaround, which, grand scheme of things, not bad. I just wish it didn't take like half an hour to get 4 days, half an hour of real time to get 4 in-game days. Because again, if we want to build sets of like 3 stations, we need like 300 million. And this first bond that we get, only 100 million worth, so we need 200 million in the bank. I don't know how to maximize profit here. Oh, we've actually now got some bad times. Those are middle hours, 9 and 10. Which again, might be from the fact that we've put the extra train on the orange line during those middle hours. But we're back to the next morning. Let's look. Hang on, we've got workers. We still haven't hit all the workers we want on the orange line. We've hit most of the residents that we want to on orange. It gets thinner over here. We might want to hit some of the residents over here. And eventually, again, either put 3 stations here or put 3 stations here. Based on the worker counts, I think putting 3 stations here will be much better. Good lord, orange line. It is rush hour, so that makes sense. But here's day 11, it's 10 a.m., we're already up to 24. So as I said, day 11 at 5 p.m., getting to that 30 whatever should be fine. So the question is, do I want to build our 3 first Smithsonian line stations first, or our 3, what is this? This is, like, Capital South? What do I want to call this line? This highway is 395, 695. I don't know. So I've got one line that'll do this. One line that'll do this. This is what I'm probably going to want to call, like, silver. The line that's doing this, what is going to happen to it? I don't know. Smithsonian. This might actually end up being what I call green. Which would mean we want to add a red in somewhere. Well, hang on. This comes over. I kind of thought that might be red. Wait, can we have one upper and lower and call them both red and green and have them, like, cross over here? Hang on. If we do something like this. So yeah, if we have like our Smithsonian line that we're calling it, almost follow the river. That is getting sort of in the territory of what this red replacement will be. But we've got residents we can handle, and even that can like loop back up on over. So they cross up here, and they cross down here. So the green would like go over. Red would come down in here. And of course blue goes up here. We know that. To hit this. I really do want to get to the university at some point, but that's going to take a while. And what else are we looking at? We already have our plan to hit Tyson's and kind of the Reston area to Dulles. We have that plan. It's going to be our little swoopy here. We've got orange coming out this way. We've got a secondary line. coming down like here. Or here, one of the two. Well, oh no, our swoop's hitting like this deep area, so that's gonna come out this way. I think we hit that. Here are some universities, I think. But that, I mean, if we have those two kind of parallel each other all the way out, that could be nice. And we've got this otherwise cutting through everything. This coming here, this going like, yeah. What is all of this out here? I am not used to seeing that stuff. I'm a little more used to this area. Again, Northern Virginia, I've said that before. This is a good science tech corridor, and there are a lot of people out there as well. This is actually getting up to the Germantown area. That's kind of nice. Here's the University of Maryland, as I said. No huge concentration of residents to hit out there, except maybe like up here. That could almost be the blue final pathway. But yeah, we're going to have a massive crisscross of stuff going through DC itself. Day 12, we just finished day 11. Again, we're at that like 30-some. And again, if I want to build 3 stations, I need to have like 200 stuff in the bank to add 100 with a bond and make the rest. What's this Telegram message here? Oh wait, what's? Oh, that's an old chat. Why is someone messaging this old chat? Okay. Okay, that's good to see. People are asking about that. It's for a convention I'm running, and people are asking about applications for DJ submissions, and I have a nice DJ coordinator who should get that open soon. So that should work out. My family's being silly in my family chat. And I'm totally not watching the game right now. Let's actually go back and pay attention for once. Yeah, we're making bank on rush hour. Just insane. More so the morning than the afternoon, although the afternoon rush hour is spread out, which, having lived in DC 15 years, or 13 years, I can absolutely verify the afternoon rush hour starts at 2 p.m. It is wild. Expense breakdowns. Let's go back to daily stuff. Yeah, we paid off our bond there. It's funny how that factors into this graph, but actually building construction doesn't. Bonds factors in, construction does not. That is kind of silly. But, you know, whatever works. Let's look at our operational costs. So 24, 23, 24, 24, 24, 25, 25 and counting. So operations are slightly increasing, but mostly holding steady. We're at 61 million on day 12. If we actually do get to the end of the week, we might have enough to do our next 2 stations, which I don't really want yet, but we can make do. I think if we're only going to do 2 instead of 3, I want it to be in here. our kind of Smithsonian line. And the question then is, where do I put our crossover? I guess right here. I could also potentially do it right here. It's a weird setup, but it's doable. All right, so where's our worker demands the most? It'll be like right here, I guess, and then here. Problem is right here is actually pretty closely served by this station. I almost want to put it here. It's a little bit closer to the residence. And there's some worker there. So yeah, we'll do it here and here. Train at capacity on orange again. We know. It happens. Courthouse, yeah. And the question also is, do I want to keep extending orange? And the answer is yes. Operating an entirely new line, I haven't even attempted doing 3-line operations in any of my games yet. So that would be a lot. Would be a lot to handle. So that's a whole new set of trains I have to buy as well. That's at least 12 new train cars to get. Again, if I'm making like 30 million a day, I can get 300 million in 10 days. We've only done the simulation for 13 days so far. So it would take a while. This would almost be something like you would want to have running in the background while you do other things. Not the most exciting to stream, but I really felt like doing this one more time, just to kind of show off my local areas and things like that. All right, let me actually get the blueprints up just so I know what the full cost will be of what I'm planning to do here. So first off, we've got a deep track. Let's zoom in a bit so I know what I'm doing here. We just do this. That works. And if we just build a station, not at 18, not at 12, but 6. Like here. I have insufficient funds because that station alone. Oh, that's actually not a bad station. But I do need 100. Okay, yeah. The tracks were 57, the station is 50. And if I wanted to build tracks to connect, it would do something like this. So now we're asking 142. So I could build this as is if I got a bond. Let's put the next station in Pennsylvania and connect tracks. So now what we need is 220 million. That's honestly less than I was expecting, so I'm not too mad about that. And if we want, now where was our demand again? So we've got residents all up through here. Lots of workers right here. So if we want to take this Georgetown up and over, like a station right here, like right here would seem to be great. Now we know it has to be at depth. because we're going to be going under buildings, and everything here is in that 10 to 14. So let's build one more station. So again, yeah, here's our 3-station plan. This Georgetown, let's kind of swoop on up and over into here. So it would be something like this. Road. It's just road. It has no name. Actually, so in 83, that's not bad. All right, so with the blueprints that we have here, we are now up to 400. Wow. That's a 200. Oh, okay, so 100 of that 200 million jump was just the station itself. And then there is a water tunnel to worry about. All right, so let's undo that and undo that. All right, so yeah, station that instantly goes from 100 to 200, and track tunnels go from 120 to 220 with just that little bit of track. I wonder, can I build the track smarter myself? Like if I try to avoid going underwater at all. If I do that, still 199, and we are going underwater, which I guess is the canal right here. So that's still $400 million project to make that extension happen. But I did just save like 25 million off the project, which I guess would pay for the crossovers at both ends of this line. But considering we do need to have the crossovers, so we're not going to worry about this just yet. That's a $200 million extension just to go from Georgetown to this little neighborhood, which is wild. But we do have these two that we can add. We will want to build crossover here and here. So right now our cost is 240 million. So if once we cross 140 million, we can nab the bond, immediately buy. Oh, we need more trains. Okay, so not 140 million. We need to pass like 160 million to get this line working. The nice thing is this line does not need to work at the late hours. It only needs to work at peak and medium. So that will help. But it's still a lot to put in. But yes, I absolutely want to get this thing up and running just to say that I have 3 lines going. And actually, this line, yeah, it's going to go like here and over, and otherwise it's going to come up, we said? Hang on. Let's look at our demand again. Because we've got one line that's coming this way, one line that's doing this, one line that's doing that. This line's going up to Bethesda and down. This line's just kind of tracking the river. Maybe this one actually tracks... Oh, maybe this one is the one that ends up going to the university? So we've got this, again, our swoop that does this. Something like does that. Don't know. I keep changing my mind about, like, everything. I really do. It's bad, y'all. Because this line, what does it do when it goes further east? Does it? This one, so we've got our little swoop. So, okay, this line's doing this. Blue's up here. We have to hit this area with at least 1 or 2 lines. I'm trying to plan ahead with which lines go where, just so that I can name them. That's the main thing I'm thinking of here. Actually, if this line's following up the river, can we have like a northern? So, okay, this is the slash line that goes this way. Doesn't make sense for this to really go. Or so what's between here and here? That's the question. This line will hit something between this one and this one. And there's not much aside from just residents. So it's going to probably just follow the river line. Which does not have any notable thing in DC right now. There's this point right here. Which it could hit, but also this slash line could hit that instead of... Well, this one actually does want to go up continuously. So maybe this line, if we ever get it out there, that's what it'll do. But that's a long ways into the future. That is a long way into the future. Let's focus on trying to get our grid through DC first, before we plan too far out. Because here's the thing, if we've got one line going like this, another line swooping through, okay, the swoop actually works kind of what I was about to say for. Because I'm like, there might want to be a just nice north-south line going through. Because here's this, the swoop comes down and up into Tyson's. Where's Tyson's? There it is. Swoop just basically does this nice V. This one's coming this way to hit all of these residents. That does a pretty good sampling of the Arlington-Alexandria area. Oh wait, did we say the swoop's actually going to come down here? That's right. Yeah. I mean, so it really is the swoop is poised to come up this way. This other cross, that's again, it's parallel to the orange, which means they're two going to go out. This one might bank down this way. That does leave, what does this line do? I think it just goes from like here to here, and that's about it. It's fine to have a short line. It's fine to have a short line. Okay, we are at 140 now. We are at 140 in the bank. If I go over to my cost thing here, this costs 240, so I could get the bond and build these 2 stations, but I wouldn't be able to get trains for them yet. So I need to wait so that I have enough to get trains. And we're not quite there yet. We need like 10 or 20 million more for that to work. And yes, I know you're high capacity, Orange. Please calm down. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, hang on, let me go back to my demand stats. If we do extend this Smithsonian line up the river, it could actually hit some of this area of residents that I've mentioned needs a little bit of service, because again, if we've got our swoop line hitting Tyson's and Orange is just going this way, this whole section of residents just isn't being serviced. So in the future, we could have this come over and maybe come back over to Tyson's. It'll hit the swoop over here and hit the swoop over there, and it'll just be like a connector for those 2 points on the swoop. That's what we'll do. That's all this line will be. When we get there. And we're getting close. So I'm trying to remember how much cars cost. If we go to orange, if I wanted to buy more cars, they are 10 million for 4. So if I had 20 million, I could get 2 4-car trains to run this route. So I want to hit 160 here, then get my bond, and then we can build everything. And of course, there's always the option of raising ticket prices, but that didn't really work out for us. The only time I think raising ticket prices will really help, 51, 51, 52, 52, 52. I mean, it's holding pretty steady. Oh, actually, it was at 53 earlier. That's interesting. We haven't done anything to change our service. Huh. Now I'm curious what would happen if we do increase ticket prices. So I don't know why that's going down otherwise. We're at 160 now. Let's wait for the day to finish so that we have that rush hour done before we get that bond. Hourly, please. We're making like 5 million an hour in revenue during rush hour. That is just insane. All right, I think we're relatively good. So the amount in the bank, 167. Yeah, let's get our bond. Bond is bought. Build blueprints. Let's go to our route. New route. What are we gonna call this one? What color do we want? This is going to be the white line. Light metro, create route. White stations, edit. Georgetown to Virginia. Oh, and it completely highlighted this already. Why did it know I was going to go there and not continue southward? I don't know. Confirm changes. Trains. 4 trains. We do need to buy cars. We got 20. We've got 20. Yes. All right. White is online and ready for the afternoon rush. Wait, is it actually running anything? Why is white not running trains? Oh, it's on. It's on. Okay. Oh, because that was 12 a.m., not 12 p.m. It wasn't noon, it was midnight. Okay, we're good. We're good. People are using it, which is nice. We don't quite have ridership numbers yet. We need to give it like a full day's worth. Now our train expenses have just jumped a ton, and our actual service has not increased very much. but people are using the stations, so I'm happy. And I am more than half an hour overtime now, so we're gonna save here. Oh, actually, let's see if we can find transit feed. Nope, it's still St. Louis Transit. Why is... Okay. Don't know, but let's save DCV1B. Save it. And I'm actually... I'll have to double check some of these. I think we can honestly just get rid of some of the older stuff. Well, let's not get rid of DCV1A, because we'll have to see if this third line works out. I think we're mostly happy with the St. Louis one, so we can get rid of that save. Yeah, there we go. We're fine. We're fine. But yeah, that is my second run through of Subway Builder. I will not do this on stream anymore. I know it's probably dull, just hearing me talk and wait for money to come in. But I'm going to see what happens if I can get these transit systems really spun up. I'm actually excited that I have 3 lines in DC. The higher density is giving me a lot more freedom to do stuff, so I love that. But yes. We've got other fun stuff coming up. We've got our normal Hollow Knight things tomorrow, and I've got 3 other games that we're going to do next Wednesday. So I hope you all are excited for that. If you're watching this on YouTube, remember to do all the fun YouTube stuff. Like if you like the video, subscribe, and hit the ring the bell if you want to see more like this or more other games, because I know this is probably not everyone's cup of tea. There's a link down in the description to my Ko-fi if you want to support me, help me buy more games. It is always appreciated. And with that, I will see y'all later. Bye.